Luck has never been a result of an uncaring cosmos. It has always been an echo of your inner state that changes your luck. You are urged to recall the ancient law that transforms coincidence into destiny and desire into a physical reality. What you had called chance is now shown to be an accurate mirror of your consciousness. As you listen, you will feel something awaken within you. The peaceful knowledge that fortune bends when you change your luck. Introduction. In the grand, unseen plan of the cosmos, what you call chance is not a roll of the celestial dice. It is the imprint of your soul on the canvas of reality. In Shift Your Luck, you are privileged to see a truth passed down the ages. Chance is merely the superficial manifestation of a deeper, unchanging law. What appears to be an accident is actually a perfect reflection of your inner world made visible. You're not wandering through fate. You're shaping it with the silent architecture of your consciousness. The law of attraction is not a superstition of optimistic thinking. It is the live current that propels galaxies and gives life to your desires. Your ideas and emotions have a frequency, and the universe responds without hesitation or preference. Creation, like a holy instrument tuned to your dominant state of being, continuously mirrors what you have within. When you tune into abundance, life cannot not but respond in kind. The moment you learn that luck comes from within you, your entire relationship with fortune begins to change. What you once referred to as good or bad luck now serves as a mirror, faithfully reflecting your hidden ideas about merit, possibility, and anticipation. Shift these underlying convictions, and you will not just improve your circumstances. You affect the pattern from which they emerge. The ancient sages realized that luck was never hidden in charms or omens. It was cultivated in consciousness. To live in accordance with universal law is to create a natural climate in which doors open quietly and the proper individuals arrive at the allotted time. Imagine your consciousness as a sacred conduit through which the waters of fortune flow. If the channel is small and uncertain, the current is restricted. If it is broadened by trust, thankfulness, and expectation, abundance flows effortlessly and without strain. By focusing on your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, and assumptions, you reshape this channel to promote better flow. Before we get into the book discussion, I'd like to affirm your intentions to the cosmos. Part 1. Fortune Wakes Up. Chapter 1. The moment you remember. Mildred Lane looked out the rain-streaked windows of a little roadside cafe where the aroma of coffee mixed with murmured voices. Her untouched cup had become cold, just like the trail of opportunities that appear to lead nowhere. Each passing car contained someone else's success story, or so she thought, until an elderly gentleman with kind eyes sat across from her. "Do you think you're lucky?" he inquired, his voice mild but probing. The question struck her like lightning, illuminating the black sky. Mildred realized that she had never considered herself fortunate. This simple question broke through the shell of her restricted perception, revealing a reality as old as time itself. Your thoughts have shaped the lens through which fortune discovers you. The cosmos functions on a steadfast principle. Awareness comes before attraction, just as a flower must first break through dirt before reaching for sunlight. Before luck may blossom, your consciousness must awaken to its possibilities. Your thinking is the fertile ground for all good fortune. Clarence May's experience perfectly exemplified this concept, as he discovered its power with a simple shift of viewpoint. After hearing about this old knowledge, he determined to only expect pleasant things. Within 7 days, 3 unexpected benefits entered his life. A long-lost acquaintance has returned with a business opportunity. A neglected investment produced unexpected returns, and a chance contact resulted in a profound partnership. Clarence's story illustrates the subtle beauty of expectancy. Your belief in good fortune attracts comparable experiences, much like a magnet draws iron filings. Luck travels naturally toward belief, just as light does toward reflection. It's not a matter of luck, but of resonance. You do not have to wait for fortune to find you. Instead, acknowledge that you are the source, medium, and expression. Every moment has the potential for luck. It only needs your consciousness to bring it to life. Sacred practice. Find a peaceful area where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath, allowing it to calm and find its natural rhythm. Allow your heart to become a refuge of thankfulness. Remember every fortunate event that has occurred in your life. The little coincidences, unanticipated joys, and perfect timing of each recollection. Offer a silent thank you. Experience these moments of luck, multiplying as stars, appearing in an evening sky. Each acknowledgement brings about more of the same. This exercise synchronizes your energy with the frequency of fortune, making you a natural attractor of favorable events. Chapter 2. The frequency of gratitude. The simplicity of life's greatest truths frequently manifests itself in surprising ways. This reality may be reflected in the narrative of Harriet Bloom, whose transformation began with a battered notebook full of grievances. She painstakingly recorded her tragedies every evening, creating an archive of disappointments until the day she realized she had a greater insight. During that moment of insight, Harriet realized that her notebook contained not a list of misfortunes, but a trove of hidden blessings waiting to be discovered with shaky hands. She began again, twisting each complaint into a hidden gift. A missed promotion became, I learned to cherish my current position, which evolved from a broken relationship. I found my inner strength. This sacred act of reframing established channels through which fortune may flow freely in few weeks. Opportunities came as readily as air. An accidental meeting led to a dream job. An unexpected invitation provided excitement. A divine synchronicity. The cosmos communicates using the language of appreciation. When you express gratitude for what appears to be tragedy, you convert its energy into magnetic power, just as iron filings align with a magnet. Favorable situations begin to manifest themselves in response to your grateful attitude. This truth was beautifully expressed by Everett Cole, a merchant who realized the magnetic force of appreciation before entering negotiations, looking for a parking place, and opening his shop every morning. He would express his gratitude in whispers. Thank you for this ideal location. He would remark this even before noticing an empty space. Thank you for a successful meeting. He confirmed before shaking hands with a client. What began as a simple practice has evolved into a force that appears to alter reality itself. Parking spaces appeared right when he needed them. Negotiations proceeded with unexpected ease. His thankfulness became a lighthouse, bringing him exactly what he needed at the right time. The ancient masters taught that thankfulness is more than just a response to good fortune. It is the very soil from which good fortune emerges. When you plant seeds of gratitude, you reap a bounty of blessings. Practice while the darkness weaves a lovely veil across the sky. Find some peaceful time for yourself. Close your eyes and let your breathing settle into a natural rhythm. Now, murmur 3 thank yous for times that bring you delight. Maybe a kind word from a stranger, a sunset that painted the sky gold, or a warm embrace from a loved one. Feel how each act of thankfulness ignites the pulse of fortune within you, causing waves of opportunity to spread into tomorrow. Chapter 3. The Mirror in the Mind. Long ago, a truth was buried in every mirror, waiting for those who can see. This insight was revealed to Lula Finch one regular morning. The sunlight flowed through her window. Standing in front of the mirror, she saw not just her physical appearance, but also years of harsh judgments. She had cast herself in that crystalline moment. She realized how each nasty comment had created a web of resistance, deflecting the same gift she sought. Her critical inner voice had sent out a signal of unworthiness to the cosmos, forming a barrier through which good fortune could not easily cross. That morning was a turning point. Lula made a holy promise to address her reflection as if it were the most cherished being in existence. You are radiant, she would whisper before dawn. You deserve every nice thing. What started as a conscious effort quickly turned into real admiration. The universe responds not to what you want to believe, but to how you really feel about yourself. Your self-talk is the foundation of your magnetic field, which attracts or repels fortune based on its frequency. When you speak to yourself with reverence, you connect to the natural flow of abundance. This concept was powerfully expressed in the life of Percy Dune, whose narrative exemplifies the transformative power of focused self-talk. Every morning, he would stand in front of his mirror and announce quietly, "I am someone." Finding good items is something I enjoy. At first, the words felt odd on his tongue, as if he were speaking an unfamiliar language. Percy persisted, and within days, the geometry of his existence began to change. A co-worker brought up an unexpected chance. A long-forgotten application attracted surprising attention. A serendipitous encounter revealed doors he had not realized existed. His new style of communicating to himself had altered the exact pattern by which fortune could locate him. Your remarks to yourself are more than just noises. They are instructions for the cosmic mind. Each idea and murmured encouragement spreads outward, forming patterns for future encounters. When you honor yourself in speech and thought, you create a resonance from which prosperity will inevitably follow. The mirror becomes an altar where you can perform the ancient art of self-blessing. Each thought provides an opportunity to deepen your connection to the abundant flow of life. Your words of self-love become keys, opening channels to which fortune pours with ever greater ease. Practice. As the dusk approaches, stand in front of your mirror in peaceful quiet. Let your eyes meet your reflection tenderly. Speak quietly to yourself as if you were addressing a dear friend. You are deserving of all the good that awaits you. You are prepared for the blessings that await. Fortune is delighted to find you. Feel these words penetrate into your being, knowing that the universe returns the love you give yourself. The fourth chapter is titled The Company of Joy. Clara Wynne, a young artist, sat at a quiet cafe with a circle of acquaintances. Each voice was heavy with stories of loss and grief, as laughter shifted to whispers of displeasure. She felt her spirit weaken, her creative flame burning under the weight of shared grievances. However, at this moment of clarity, she saw a hidden truth about the nature of fortune. The cosmos communicates in frequencies, and you attract what resonates with you the most strongly. When you surround yourself with voices that reflect negativity, you adjust your spirit to that wavelength. But just as darkness yields to light, you may choose to surround yourself with people who exude joy and possibility. This ancient knowledge explains that your environment influences not only your ideas, but also your destiny. Those who walk through gardens of thorns will find their paths marred by conflict, while people who maintain rose gardens reap fortunes from their smell. Your companions serve as mirrors, reflecting and amplifying the energy you share. As you go through life, notice how various presences affect your spirit. Some empty you, while others fill you with energy. This is not an accident. The law of attraction manifests itself through human connection. When you choose to spend time with others who appreciate life's blessings, you will naturally attract additional reasons to rejoice. Homer Reed realized this principle when he turned his social events into circles of thankfulness. Rather than allowing talks to devolve into complaints, he encouraged his guests to share moments of blessing. With each gathering, the communal energy got brighter, and members' individual lives improved in response. Their mutual appreciation generated a magnetic field that pulled more favorable circumstances to all involved. This instruction is especially powerful in the present period, where negativity frequently masquerades as wisdom. However, true knowledge is recognizing that joy is more than just an emotion. It is an attractive force. It's like when you surround yourself with people who make you happy, you aren't just looking for pleasant company. You are deliberately aligning with fortune's flow. Sacred practice. As the sun sets today, Reach out to someone whose presence brightens your world. Share a moment of pure gratitude, allowing laughter to flow freely between you. Feel how this exchange generates a flow of positive energy. Drawing. Look closer, like a moth to a flame. This simple act of connection activates an ancient power, the magnetic power of shared happiness. The practice involves meeting with one person whose spirit inspires you. Instead of addressing problems, simply tell stories that make you happy. Notice how this shift in energy generates a field of possibilities around you, allowing good fortune to naturally develop into your shared space. Chapter 5. Permission to Receive. Edna Poe lived in a quiet seaside community and was well known for her devoted dedication to others. Her hands have patched numerous clothing. Her kitchen has fed many souls. Nonetheless, she carried her own problems alone. One afternoon, as she struggled with heavy grocery bags, her neighbor Thomas arrived beside her. "Let me help you with those," he said pleasantly. Edna's first inclination was to decline, as she always did. But something in Thomas's honest smile drew her in as he pulled the luggage from her tired arms. An unexpected sensation swept over her, the sweet comfort of letting herself be helped. This little gesture provided a path to comprehending an important reality about the flow of fortune. The universe runs a cycle of giving and receiving, like the endless dance of the breath. Inhale, following the exhaust tide, flowing, then ebbing. When you only give and never receive, you cause resistance in this natural circulation. It's as if you're attempting to exhale continually without drawing breath. A fresh Norman Bliss found his wisdom through a different door. As a skilled artisan, he would turn down praise for his work, feeling that humility required renouncing recognition. However, he realized that his prosperity had frozen until a wise friend pointed him that denying praises was like returning unopened presents to the cosmos. She said that every time he deflects admiration, he is telling the universe that his abilities are unworthy of recognition. Norman began taking compliments with thankfulness and discovered that his acceptance allowed more benefits to flow. The law of attraction responds not only to your ideas and feelings, but also to the rhythm of your interactions with life. When you allow yourself to accept help, gratitude, or love, you complete an important circuit. This fulfillment tells the universe that you value its gifts and invites more to manifest. Consider how a flower would have opened to accept sunlight and rain if its petals were securely closed in an attempt at self-sufficiency. It would wither despite the riches around it. Similarly, your readiness to receive unleashes the full potential of global flow, an ancient practice. When someone shows you compassion, whether through a compliment, aid, or a present, pause and consciously accept it. Look into their eyes, smile sincerely, and speak with quiet confidence. "I receive." Feel these words echo in your heart, knowing that in this moment of elegant acceptance, you are in sync with the universe's inherent rhythm of giving and receiving. Chapter 6. The Present Moment Spell. In the crowded streets of an ancient marketplace, a merchant named Bonnie Gray moved nervously between kiosks. Her head was loaded with fears about tomorrow's deals, as well as future losses that had yet to occur. She almost collided with an elderly sage who sat peacefully in the midst of the turmoil. The sage noted that you're looking far ahead for treasures, while fortune is waiting at your feet. This little advice changed Bonnie's relationship with time and luck. She discovered that the future is merely a shadow that will never materialize, whereas the present moment is the only fertile ground for good fortune to grow. The universe communicates in the language of now. When your focus is totally on the present, you reach the sacred place where synchronicity functions. Water flowing through a channel lock can only pass through the opening at the present moment. Yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fears build hurdles to its natural flow. Franklin Dale learned this unexpectedly when he forgot his phone one morning. Initially alarmed by the separation, He found himself recognizing nuances he had neglected for years. A nice smile from the coffee shop owner, a helpful stranger holding the door, and a perfectly timed meeting with an old acquaintance who offered him a business opportunity, all without the continual fog of digital distraction. He attained a state of natural awareness, and fortuitous coincidences appeared to multiply. His experience demonstrates a fundamental reality. Presence acts as a magnet, attracting wonders that are hidden in plain sight. When your consciousness is fully present in the moment, you become sensitive to the subtle messages and opportunities that the universe constantly provides. The law of attraction works most effectively in the current moment. Your current ideas, feelings, and state of being form an energy signature that attracts similar events. When you divide your attention between now and later, you dilute the magnetic power. Ancient practice opens the doorway to current consciousness. Find a quiet area and get into a comfortable position. Take 5 deep, aware breaths, sensing the air entering and leaving your body. Allow each breath to strengthen your connection to the present moment. Now, slowly scan your immediate surroundings. Take note of 5 minor details that you often ignore. Perhaps the pattern of light on the wall, the texture of fabric beneath your fingers, or the distant sound of birds as you note each detail. Quietly thank it as a portal through which good fortune can enter. This simple technique connects you to the eternal now, the only time in which luck can find you. 7. The power of words. Lucy Hart sat at her wooden desk in a modest cottage hidden among rolling hills every evening, penning her thoughts into a leather-bound diary. Night after night, she wrote about her misfortune. Nothing works out for me. I always miss out on opportunities. Good fortune escapes me. As the weeks went, she discovered a disturbing pattern. Her written words became real happenings, resulting in a cycle of repeated disappointment. One morning, while examining her entries, knowledge appeared like the first ray of sunlight through the morning mist. The papers in front of her contained not only records, but predictions that she had unintentionally created. During that moment of recognition, she grasped the ancient truth. Your words create the tapestry of your reality. The language you say transmits vibrations that go across the fabric of existence. Each phrase you say generates energy that changes the conditions that surround you. Your words aren't just descriptions. They're declarations to the universe. Seeds were planted in the fertile soil of possibilities. When you say, I am unlucky, you create invisible hurdles to fortune's approach. Each negative statement serves as a stone in the wall that separates you from abundance. However, this same power contains a key to transformation. Your capacity to deliberately select phrases that entice rather than resist your wants. Roland Ness learned this reality during a time of stagnation in his life. His tendency of uttering, I can't, had become a self-fulfilling prophecy until he made a solemn vow to replace those words with, I will. Within days, opportunities began to emerge, as if called by his new tongue. An accidental meeting resulted in a promising business alliance. An unexpected phone call opened doors he believed were permanently closed. His story teaches us that language is more than just a tool for communication. It is a tool of creation. The words you pick created pathways through which fortune flows. When you focus your words on possibilities rather than constraint, you create opportunities for luck to find you. Sacred practice. Pour yourself a cup of tea or water and lift it to your lips. Say blessings over each element. This water has lucky essence. This sailboat has fortunate potential. This moment is filled with overflowing grace. Sip gently, letting each pleasant affirmation to settle into your being. Allow your words to color tomorrow's canvas with strokes of potential and promise. With this simple practice, you may turn ordinary moments into possibilities for manifestation. Prepare your tongue to speak the language of fortune. Chapter 8. The Seed of Intention. In the center of a tranquil valley lived a wise woman named Mommy Vale. who comprehended a truth that many before her had missed. Every morning, when the sun painted the sky in soft hues, she would go into her garden, carrying not only seeds and water, but something far more valuable. Mommy's conscious thoughts as she planted her herbs included blessings of peace and harmony for her family. Her rosemary became more fragrant than any in the village. Her sage reached previously unimaginable heights, while her mint grew with extraordinary zeal. The garden appeared to respond to more than simply her meticulous care. It thrived beneath the invisible rain of her loving wishes. Understanding the holy dance between thinking and matter provides a look into one of the universe's most guarded mysteries. Every action contains the energy of the intention behind it. Your thoughts, like water, gradually shape the content of your experiences. This is not a coincidence, but the application of an ancient law that has guided sages throughout history. Consider how a master chef imbues each meal with love, or how a craftsman forms it with respect. The difference between ordinary and outstanding results is frequently determined by the energy flowing through the action rather than the technique. Your purpose functions as a subtle force, guiding the flow of universal energy to your intended conclusion. Jasper Quinn, a trader from the seaside city, found the truth on his own travels. Frustrated with days that seemed to spiral out of hand, he started a simple but effective exercise before touching his phone every morning. He would pause to set his intentions for the day, rather than allowing circumstances to define his experience. He selected the energy he would carry on. Within weeks, Jasper saw a significant change. Meetings that were formerly contentious moved smoothly. Opportunities appeared at exactly the perfect time. Even his connections gained a new level of understanding. By infusing his first movement with conscious intention, he unintentionally transformed the fabric of each day's unfolding. The cosmos responds not only to what you do, but also to the energy signature you incorporate into your actions. Every gesture, word, and action conveys your intention, like a seed born by the wind. When you integrate your behaviors with conscious intent, ordinary moments become vehicles for manifestation, an ancient procedure for aligning fortunes. Before beginning any work, no matter how simple or complex, place your hand on your heart and feel the steady rhythm beneath your palm. In this precious moment, silently name the emotion you want to pour into your actions, whether it's peace, joy, abundance, or love. Allow this intention to flow through you and into every movement. This simple technique sows new seeds of fortune into the fertile soil of each moment, allowing wealth to grow naturally along your journey. Chapter 9. The Alchemy of Emotion. In a tiny coastal town, Sally Daw strolled among crowds wearing a painted grin, convinced that if she pretended to be happy long enough, she would be. Fortune would mistake her mask for the truth. Every morning, she practiced her happy expressions in the mirror, muttered nice platitudes without feeling them, and tried to convince herself that everything was okay. However, the more she attempted to create joy, the more prosperity appeared to slide through her fingers like grains of sand. The universe communicates in the language of truth. When you try to trick it with false feelings, you produce dissonance, which repels rather than attracts. Your feelings aren't supposed to be flawless. They are intended to be real. The law of attraction responds not to the words you say or the expressions you make, but to the actual vibration flowing from your heart. Sally's breakthrough occurred when she finally allowed herself to admit her displeasure with her job. Something changed in those few days of real honesty. An accidental conversation resulted in a fresh opportunity that precisely matched her real desires. Her genuine delight at discarding the charade became the magnet that brought positive circumstances to her. Leo Cobb's story illustrates this truth from a different perspective. After years of keeping a stoic demeanor in the face of personal difficulties, he chose to express his actual thoughts by sharing his sorrow with a trusted friend. He observed that vulnerability has its own magnetic power. The simple act of confessing his pain allowed for healing, and as his energy cleared, new opportunities opened. These events demonstrate a fundamental fact. Emotional authenticity is the basis for magnetic attraction. When you align your exterior expression with your inner reality, you remove the impediment that prevents favorable situations from finding you. Your actual sentiments, whether joyous or challenging, offer a clear route to which the universe can respond. The law of attraction thrives on authenticity because truth vibrates at the highest frequency. Every time you express your true emotions, you increase your connection to the global flow of abundance. Your honesty becomes a very bridge over which good fortune passes. Sacred practice. Sit in a peaceful area and place your palm over your heart without judgment. Recognize the current emotion that you are experiencing. Talk to it lightly. I am grateful for your guidance. Take deep breaths, envisioning this emotion dissolving into pure light with each exhale. Continue until you notice a subtle movement toward inner serenity. This exercise of emotional truthfulness tunes you into the vibration of actual abundance. Chapter 10. The Vision Comes True. In a bright attic with swirling dust motes and light rays, Hattie Knox spent endless hours creating her dream book. Page after page featured neatly clipped photographs of lovely houses with flower-laden windowsills, each reflecting the home she wished to name her own. While others rejected her ritual as mere daydreaming, Hattie saw each image as a seed sown in the fertile ground of possibility. Every morning, she would trace her fingertips over these photos, bringing to life each detail. Weathered roofs, smoke flowing from brick chimneys, lavender-lined garden walkways. In her thoughts, she could feel the roughness of stone walls and smell pine needles in the fresh mountain air. This was more than just wishing. It was an act of acknowledgement, admitting what was already present in the realm of potential. When the letter arrived announcing her great aunt's bequest of a little mountain cabin, others around her thought it was a coincidence. However, you too realize a fundamental truth. Imagery is the universe's architect's pencil, designing blueprints in the ethereal fabric of creation. Your thoughts are more than just whispers in the vacuum. They are the precise templates upon which your reality is based. Consider the wisdom passed down over the ages. The mind's eye is the first creator before a temple emerges from the ground. It must first exist in the builder's mind before music can fill a concert hall. It must initially sing in the composer's mind. The universe responds not to what you want for, but to what you can see clearly enough to make it seem more real than your current situation. Clyde Parr recognized this principle with absolute clarity. Every evening, he would retire to his study and methodically draw images of his accomplishments. Detailed illustrations show his future office, the handshake that seals crucial deals, and the triumphant expression on his face. He considered these drawings as images of future events rather than utopian dreams. Within months, these events began to manifest in his life with such precision that even critics remained mute. The ancient masters taught that imagination connects thinking and manifestation. When you keep an image in your mind with unflinching trust, you generate a magnetic force that attracts that reality to you. This isn't magic. It is a natural rule of resonance, as true as gravity. Your mind functions like a projection room, with a film of your future playing continuously. The photographs you choose to display, there will become scenes from your life. The cosmos makes no distinction between what you see with your physical eyes and what you see with perfect clarity in your imagination. Both have the same creative power. Practice. Find a peaceful place tonight where you will not be bothered. Gently close your eyes and let the movie of your best life play softly behind your eyelids. Watch each scene evolve with a calm conviction that it already exists and is just waiting for you to step into it. Allow each detail to implant itself on your consciousness. Colors, noises, textures, and emotions. This is not a fantasy scenario. It is an act of acknowledgement, accepting what the universe has already planned for you. Chapter 11 discusses the rhythm of permitting. In a busy market plaza, Pearl Tate clutched her list of aspirations so firmly that her knuckles became white. Every morning, she would revisit her goals with zeal, mentally forcing them into life. However, the harder she pushed, the more life appeared to oppose her demands. Her manifestation stayed resolutely aloof, like water held in strained hands. The tighter she held, the further it slipped away. Pearl fell into a park bench on an autumn evening, fatigued from her relentless striving. Her grip eased, both literally and mentally. Something spectacular happened. The sunset painted the sky in colors she had never seen before, and a light breeze carried the lovely aroma of nearby jasmine. In that moment of surrender, she realized that the cosmos operates not via force but through allowance. This is a fact that old wisdom talks of. When you give up control over the outcome, you create a path through which abundance naturally flows. Think about a river. It does not struggle to reach the ocean. It merely continues its natural trajectory, gracefully navigating impediments. Your desires are like this river, seeking their own way to appear. Tension is the greatest impediment to receiving gifts. When you demand particular results within specified time frames, you build resistance in the fundamental fabric of possibility. The universe functions on its own divine timescale, organizing events with wisdom that exceeds our finite understanding. Your task is to match with fate's natural rhythm rather than to force it. Rufus D. realized the truth on his own trip. He was once an expert at precise planning and strict scheduling, but he became dissatisfied when life frequently broke his well-laid plans. Then one day, he decided to try a different technique. Instead of insisting that opportunities emerge on his time frame, he began practicing what he referred to as relaxed optimism. He began each day with a modest acknowledgement. When appointments were canceled, I placed my trust in perfect timing, rather demanding other arrangements. He would smile and consider whether something better was aligning. To his amazement, the most fortunate connections emerged naturally. Chance meets in coffee shops, impromptu talks that lead to collaborations, and unexpected introductions that open up new opportunities. Rufus' experience reveals a profound reality. The art of permitting involves active rather than passive waiting. Believe in the universe's orchestration. It is the awareness that sometimes the path to our desires looks different than we envisaged, but it leads to even better results than we could have predicted. Like water finding its level, good fortune seeks those who remain open and attentive. When you let go of the desire to control every detail, you make room for synchronicity to perform its magic. This is the manifestation paradox. The less you strain, the more easily your desires come to you. The universe reacts to alignment, not desperate clutching. So your role is to prepare yourself to receive what is already in motion toward you. Allow your desires to be known. Then release them with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you will not miss you. Practice. Take 3 deep breaths with each exhale, starting in a comfortable position. Feel tension leaving your body and mind. Then, with a kind smile, I whispered these words, and it came in. Perfect timing. Feel how peace replaces pressure as you surrender to the wisdom of divine timing. Make this your daily reminder that forcing generates resistance, whereas allowing creates flow. Chapter 12, The Courage to Decide. In the calm hills of an ancient town, a weaver named Flora Gant sat before her loom, surrounded by threads of every hue imaginable. Day after day, she would start tapestries only to unravel them, terrified that each hue and pattern would lead to regret. Her hesitation left her stuck between options, never completely embracing any one route. The universe communicates in the language of certainty. Each time you remain firm in your decision, you unleash energies beyond mortal comprehension. Your decision becomes a beacon, pulling to you the very materials required for its realization. However, indecision produces a veil through which fortune cannot navigate. When you remain uncommitted, you may be sending confusing signals into the cosmic web. To function optimally, the law of attraction demands clarity. Like a radio looking for a station, your energy must be perfectly tuned to your desires. Wavering between frequencies generates only static. Consider the massive oak. It does not doubt its own essence. It rises upward with steadfast assurance, and the universe provides everything it requires. Sunlight, water, and nutrients flow naturally. Skyward supports its decisive journey. Vernon Bragg realized this fact. After years of debating between two career options, he made his decision with total clarity one crisp fall morning. That very afternoon, a chance encounter resulted in an unexpected opportunity that precisely matched his election. The universe had long awaited his signal. His story reveals a vital reality. When you make a clear decision, you activate a strong magnetic force. It's as if the cosmos has been holding its breath, waiting for your final decision. All of the energy that had previously been dispersed among several possibilities is concentrated into a single, powerful stream. Consider decision as the chisel that carves your fate from the stone of potential. Each conviction-driven decision opens up a clear path for fortune to flow. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to your will, which is manifested via determined action. Your strength is not in keeping all doors open, but in marching courageously through the one you select. When you comprehend this, you realize that a decision is not a cage that holds you captive, but rather a key that unlocks your freedom. The ancient tradition, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, invites you to stand with your feet firmly planted on the earth. Take 3 deep, centering breaths, feeling the earth's unshakable support beneath you. Raise your head high and speak clearly, resonantly. Speak openly. One decision you will respect and admire yourself for making. Experience the power of your choice. Ripple through the universe, generating waves of possibilities that will return to you as manifest reality. Part 2, The Dance with Destiny. Chapter 13, The Invisible Handshake. Bessie Locke watched successful vendors in a crowded bazaar with flaming eyes. Her heart is heavy with comparison. Every morning, she counted their customers, compared their success to her empty kiosk, and felt a bitter taste of envy wash over her mind. However, one morning while she was arranging her things, an elderly woman paused at her table and whispered words that would forever change her perspective. The woman said, "Your gaze casts a shadow where it should cast light. What you admire in others dims when viewed in the dark." This fact pierced Bessie's heart. She recognized that her envy had created a barrier between her and abundance. She decided to take a different course right then. Instead of counting others' blessings with animosity, she began to do so with joy. Every morning, she would discreetly applaud any success she saw, sending sincere waves of gratitude to people around her. Within weeks, the energy in her stall had altered. Customers began to stay, enticed by an intangible warmth. Her real joy in others' success has reactivated her own magnetic field of plenty. The universe communicates in the language of resonance. When you send out frequencies of lack through envy, you build resistance to the very success you desire. However, by celebrating the good success of others, you align yourself with abundance and create pathways for your own blessings to flow. Elton Price uncovered a similar approach in the field of craft brewing. While other brewers kept their secrets and regarded competitors with distrust, he decided to send silent blessings to each new brewery that opened. He would try their concoctions with appreciation, recommend their delicacies to his consumers, and sincerely congratulate their innovations. One morning, the owner of what he considered his main competition entered his brewery. Instead of antagonism, they discovered complementing perspectives. Within months, they had developed a collaborative brew that improved both companies' reputations and opened them new markets. Neither could access it alone. Your relationship with abundance is revealed by how you react to others' good success. Each sincere celebration of another victory aligns your energy with the vibration of prosperity. The cosmos responds to what you exude rather than what you seek. An ancient approach is to choose 3 people who have what you want. Find a peaceful moment and send them your heartfelt blessing. Feel genuine gladness for their success, allowing your heart to grow with true kindness. Watch how this technique shifts your energy from resistance to openness, making room for fortune to find you. Chapter 14, The Path of Play. At the core of a meditation center, Vera Holt sat with pinched eyes and gripped her manifestation, journaled so tightly that her knuckles became white. Every day, she addressed her spiritual practice with the seriousness of a surgeon performing a delicate operation. Her drive to learn the global laws had become a great burden, until a wise teacher made a discovery that would free her comprehension of the cosmos. The teacher explained that dancing is more than just marching. This basic reality triggered a radical shift in Vera's perspective. She began to see how her intensity generated resistance, similar to forcing a flower to bloom. When she let go of her expectations, they seemed to drift into her reality with unexpected ease. The law of attraction responds to the lightness of your being rather than the weight of your intention. Manifestation flows most naturally from hearts that remember how to play. Your natural condition is that of joyous creation. Children easily express their aspirations since they have not yet learned to doubt or struggle. Gordon Lyle found this principle through an unintentional experiment during long business talks. He began jokingly doodling his dreams in the margins of his notebook, drawing stick characters living in beach villas and cartoon versions of himself, making speeches to appreciative audiences. He viewed these sketches as a covert fun, a moment of defiance against corporate solemnity. To his shock, these casually drawn visions began to manifest in his life. A client suddenly invited him to speak at a seaside conference. An unexpected rental property became available in his beloved beach town. His fanciful pictures had broken through his rational mind's reluctance and spoken straight to the universe's love of play. When you approach manifestation with rigorous seriousness, you generate tension in the realm of endless possibilities. This tension forms a barrier between you and your desires. However, when you allow yourself to play with possibilities, to dance with destiny rather than resist it, you enter the natural flow of creation. Great trust, not great skill, is what gives you the ability to attract others. The type of trust that allows you to laugh, experiment, and view the entire process as a cosmic game of hide and seek with your aspirations. The cosmos takes pleasure in surprising people who approach life with wonder rather than fear. An ancient practice. When you make a mistake today, pause and discover something funny about it. Give a real laugh, no matter how tiny. Feel how this energy change quickly lifts your vibration and creates fresh opportunities for luck to discover you. Remember, the cosmos has a sense of humor. It's time to join in the joke. Chapter 15, The Echo of Kindness. In ancient times, a merchant named Della Foy noticed an intriguing pattern in her commercial efforts. Each time she assisted a fellow merchant without requesting payment, mysterious chances arose. Within days, she provided shelter for a wandering spice trader stranded in a storm. She found rare silks for half their price. The next morning, she shared her final loaf with a hungry stranger. She arrived home to discover 3 fresh orders awaiting her attention. The universe runs on the basis of invisible energy circles. Every act of kindness creates ripples that spread outward before returning multiplied to their source. This is not a coincidence, but rather the inherent rule of spiritual riches. When you offer freely without regard for the outcome, you link yourself with the flow of global grace. Your generosity opens avenues for fortune to find you. The secret is in the purity of intention. When you provide compassion without expecting anything in return, you display faith in life's inherent richness. This trust becomes a magnet, attracting unexpected blessings to you. The cosmos responds not to the magnitude of your gesture, but to the genuineness of your heart. Consider the story of August Raya, a humble carpenter who started each day by genuinely complimenting individuals he met. He commended the baker's fresh bread, acknowledged the grace of the street sweeper's job, and loved the merchant's precise product arrangement. Within a fortnight, his workshop was crowded with new customers, each of whom claimed to be drawn to his door by an unexplainable sense of warmth. August had unintentionally discovered an ancient truth. Love creates resonance, which attracts like energy. His simple gesture of appreciation created a field of positive energy that lured others seeking the same quality. He didn't strategize or calculate. He simply expressed a real affection in his heart. These anecdotes demonstrate a profound idea. Generosity transcends the observable sphere of cause and effect. When you show compassion freely, you build invisible bridges between yourself and good fortune. Each true compliment, tiny favor, and real concern adds another strand to the web of grace that supports your life. The practice of everlasting giving. Stand silently in the dawn light. Place your palm on your heart and whisper, "I am a channel for kindness to flow through." Throughout the day, search for small opportunities to express genuine gratitude or support as you make each gesture. Understand that you are not depleting yourself, but rather creating new pathways for abundance to reach you. Then, consciously grin at the next person you meet, certain that fortune will smile back unseen. Before we move on to the next chapter, you may obtain a free ebook edition of this audiobook by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. Watch this video. Chapter 16, The Gentle Persistence. In a little village situated among ancient hills, Quarums tended her garden every morning, planting seeds with hope, only to discard them at the first sign of cold. Her dreams, like tiny seeds, faded before taking root. Days passed with no growth, until an elderly woman passed by and provided insight that would change her path. The flower does not question the darkness before blooming. Your thoughts are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. However, many people abandon their ambitions just as the cosmos begins its invisible work beneath the surface. This desertion derives from misconception about time's role in manifestation. The law of attraction functions according to heavenly time rather than human schedules. When you keep unshakable faith in the face of apparent inaction, you exhibit your belief in cosmic wisdom. This faith becomes a magnetic force, attracting the exact circumstances required for your achievement. Each minute of consistent belief adds another thread to the fabric of your manifestation. Consider how water molds stone not with force, but with patient perseverance. Similarly, your consistent thoughts and beliefs create paths for abundance to flow through. The universe responds to prolonged resonance rather than intensity. Wilbur Keyes found this lesson through his commitment to journaling. Others question his routine of writing his aspirations as if they were already manifest. He recognized that repetition was not just a routine, but a spiritual exercise. His written words became live experiences one by one, demonstrating that patience and tenacity can generate and remove any magnetic field. Your role is not to compel manifestation, but rather to maintain the frequency of your desire. When uncertainty whispers, nothing happens. Wisdom responds. Everything is lining up. The space between planting and harvesting is not empty. It is brimming with invisible activity, arranging your good. Remember, the cosmos never stops working for you. What appears to be a delay is frequently actually preparation. Your duty is to remain steadfast in your knowledge, like a lighthouse whose beam never wavers regardless of the weather. When the visible world remains motionless, it is customary to sit silently in the approaching darkness. Put your hand over your heart and whisper, yet 3 times, each one softer than the previous. Feel how one single word conveys the power of limitless possibilities. Let it remind you that miracles occur between the last shade of darkness and the first ray of dawn. Perform this technique whenever doubt arises, knowing that energy is already stitching the fabric of possibilities around you. Chapter 17, The Light. In contrast, in the midst of a bustling city, numerous Dales sat at her window every morning, counting tragedies like gloomy clouds collecting on her horizon. Each setback seemed like a divine chastisement. Each failure and judgment passed until one rainy evening, while seeking refuge in an old bookshop, she came across an antique text that would permanently change her understanding. Life communicates in the language of contrast, just as an artist requires both light and shadow to create depth. Understanding what you do not want to create is essential in your route to fortune. Each encounter that appears to go against your desires clarifies them. When you reject what looks to be misfortune, you improve your power to attract what you really want. You overlook the gift lying beneath its folds. These differences act like cosmic compasses, leading you in the right direction with increasing precision. The cosmos, in its infinite wisdom, employs adversity to sharpen your attention and enhance your magnetic pull toward your goal. Consider how a diamond emerges from immense pressure, or how a lotus rises from murky waters to bloom. Your struggles are not punishment, but rather preparation, hurdles, or possibilities for clearer invention. Each contrast encounter has the seed of deeper insight. Omar Pitts exemplified this insight when his position at a respected firm was abruptly disbanded. Rather perceiving this as a disaster, he saw it as a redirection. In the void left by loss, he rekindled a long-dormant desire to instruct local artists. This new road offered him greater satisfaction than any previous triumph, demonstrating how a parent's misery frequently conceals fortune's best gifts. The law of attraction reacts not to your circumstances, but to your perception of them. When you transition from seeing contrast as punishment to seeing it as advice, resistance becomes resonance. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Your relationship with contrast shapes your relationship to creation. When you accept both sides of an experience, the desired and undesired, you achieve mastery over manifestation. The universe uses every experience, especially those you might categorize as negative, to help you identify and attract what you actually want. When faced with challenge, it is ancient practice to pause and breathe deeply. Put your hand over your heart and whisper these words 3 times. These two are guiding me. Feel how this acknowledgement transforms. Resistance transforms into acceptance. Tension turns into fluidity. Let each breath remind you that contrast is your teacher, revealing more clearly what you want to create. This simple practice reconnects you with the natural flow of life, where every experience, whether happy or unpleasant, serves your best good. Chapter 18, The Bridge of Belief. A weaver named Ida Bloom lived in the tranquil hills beyond the city, where she spent her days producing exquisite tapestries and dreaming of riches. Her hands weaved exquisite patterns of gold and silver threads, while her mind spun patterns of doubt. Perhaps some are destined for fortune, but not me, she would whisper to herself, thereby undermining the very prosperity she wished to create. The cosmos functions on a steadfast principle. Your belief serves as a foundation for all manifestation. When you plant seeds of intention in the fertile soil of existence, your conviction gives nurturing rain and sustaining sunlight. Without belief, even the most strong desires wither before they can take root. Your thoughts are more than just whispers in the vacuum. They are the creators of your reality. Each moment of doubt serves as a counterforce, neutralizing the magnetic pull of your goals. This is why many people find themselves stuck in cycles of seeking but not receiving. The cosmos cannot supply what you both attract and repel. Consider Leland Carr, a simple shopkeeper who saw this truth while his tiny business failed. He began practicing what he termed living, as if he were walking through his empty shop every morning, greeting imaginary clients with real affection and arranging his tiny goods with the same care as rare stones. Others questioned his sanity, But Leland understood something others didn't. That belief builds a bridge over which opportunity travels within weeks. A string of coincidences began to unravel. A well-known publication profiled his small shop. A wealthy collector came upon his carefully kept selection. What others saw as luck was actually the manifestation of his steadfast belief. Finding its bodily shape, the teaching spoke to us across time. Your belief isn't just a thought. It is a frequency or vibration that either complements or interrupts your aspirations. When you match your beliefs with your intentions, you open up a clear route for abundance to flow. This alignment is not about forcing yourself to believe, but about acknowledging that doubt is merely a misdirected conviction. The sacred exercise. Find a calm moment. Place your palm on your heart and utter out one truth. You now choose to believe, as previously manifested. Feel the warmth of your hand combined with the force of your assertion. Allow this moment to symbolize the transformation from hope to knowing, from wanting to being. Your belief serves as the bridge. Cross it with conviction. Chapter 19, The Celebration Spiral. In the calm hills beyond the historic city, a woman named Sadie Penn uncovered an age-old truth. Every morning, she would pause to celebrate even the slightest accomplishments, such as a perfectly prepared cup of tea, a letter from a friend, or the first ray of sunlight reaching her garden. What began as simple expressions of gratitude quickly evolved into an incredible pattern. The universe responds to celebration in the same way as a flower opens to the sun. When you recognize and celebrate the small miracles around you, you activate an everlasting law that increases blessings. Your thankfulness acts as a magnet, attracting additional enjoyable experiences into your life. When you honor each step of your journey, no matter how small it may appear, you align with the natural flow of plenty. This recognition serves as the basis for the law of attraction. What you celebrate broadens the scope of your appreciation. This fact is at the heart of producing greater prosperity in your life. Consider Trader Bennett Rowe, who used the power of shared joy to grow his small shop into a booming business. Instead than waiting for great accomplishments, he began advertising every transaction, new customer, and favorable review with genuine excitement. His excitement became contagious. People are drawn to his establishment like moths to a flame. Invitations to partnerships and possibilities occurred unexpectedly. Each one builds on the last. His experience demonstrates that public celebration possesses a special power. When you freely express your happiness with your progress, you create a frequency that attracts like energies. The cosmos reflects your enthusiasm, resulting in a cycle of growing good fortune. This ancient wisdom demonstrates that celebration is more than just a response to victory. It serves as a catalyst for this. Each moment of gratitude causes ripples in the fabric of reality, allowing additional abundance to pour into your life. The practice involves choosing something little in your present experience, such as the warmth of your palms, the rhythm of your breath, or the comfort of your seat. Stand up and express your thankfulness for this little favor by dancing gently or humming a sweet tune. Feel the vibration of delight traveling through your body and know that it is already attracting. Additional reasons to celebrate. Allow the transforming power of this moment of appreciation to spread throughout your life. Chapter 20, The Secret of Silence. In a crowded marketplace, Anita Moss maintained an old tea shop where she offered aromatic mixes to her customers. Every morning, she saw the same scene, merchants expressing their huge intentions and sharing aspirations yet unborn with whoever would listen. However, she found that these loudly stated objectives frequently wilted before taking root. After years of observation, Anita uncovered a valuable truth. Dreams are like delicate seedlings that require darkness to flourish. Every time she presented her visions prematurely, their energy dispersed like petals in the wind. The universe whispered to her, "Certain magic requires sacred silence." When you speak of your greatest desires too soon, you deplete the vital force required for their realization. A seed, for example, requires the calm embrace of the earth before it can reach the light of day. Your dreams require a period of safe incubation. This stillness stems not from fear or doubt, but from wisdom and regard for the inherent law of creation. Consider the story of Nelson Bird, a craftsman who discovered this lesson by experience, while others talked incessantly about their planned marvels. He labored quietly, without sharing his vision with anyone. He realized that each dream has its own moment and rhythm of unfolding. When his art eventually emerged, it bore the strength of protected potential, expressing with grace that others found effortless. The law of attraction works most effectively in these sacred places of solitude. When you keep your dreams near and nurture them with devoted dedication, their energy concentrates rather than dissipates. This is not about hiding from the world. It is about respecting the gestation period that every great product necessitates. Your greatest desires resemble unwritten poetry. They belong first in the peaceful caverns of your heart. By shielding them from premature exposure, you keep their magnetic power. The cosmos respects your discretion, working quietly beside you until the ideal moment of revelation arrives. The moon silently pulls the tides, and your quiet assurance draws manifestation to you. This is a traditional method of those who comprehend the alchemy of creation. They understand that certain forms of power thrive in silence. Choose one beautiful fantasy that resides in your heart. Instead of sharing it, keep it in your mind as a sacred agreement between you and the cosmos. Feel the power of this intimate vow, knowing that in this silence, your dream becomes stronger. Allow it to lie in the fruitful soil of your faith, safe and pure, until its natural moment of emergence. Chapter 21. The Morning Declaration. A woman named Effie Crane lived in the calm valleys between ancient mountains, and she found a truth as old as time. Every morning, before the world awoke, she would whisper to the rising sun, "Today loves me." At first, the words felt weird on her lips, as if you were speaking in another language. Nonetheless, she continued, greeting each dawn with this hallowed declaration. As the weeks passed, small changes began to emerge in her life's tapestry. Doors that appeared locked swung open with easy ease. Opportunities appeared like dewdrops in the morning light, natural, predictable, and perfectly timed. Her route, once buried in mystery, began to gleam with inner brilliance that appeared to direct her movements. The cosmos responds not to what we say, but to the vibration we maintain. When you announce your alignment with the day ahead, you are tuning into the frequency of fortune. This is not a coincidence, but rather the application of an everlasting law. Your earliest thoughts shape the container for your experiences. Maurice Webb, a businessman who had long plagued with worry, discovered this understanding from his own experience. Every morning, he would immerse himself in the day's news, allowing global events to affect his outlook before his boots touched the ground. Upon learning of Effie's practice, he made a decisive adjustment. Instead of reaching for his phone, Maurice established a hallowed morning ritual in the peaceful solitude of dawn. He would sit in meditation, reinforcing his connection to the day's possibilities. Within months, his ventures began to thrive in ways he had only imagined. Deals that had previously taken strong pursuit now appeared to flow naturally. His businesses thrived as a result of aligned energy rather than additional work. This ancient truth exposes itself. The first energy you invest in each day comes back to you, magnified like the first drop of color in clear water. Your morning thoughts influence all that follows. By starting with an affirmation rather than doubt, thankfulness rather than concern, you set in action forces that affect the rest of your day. A preparation for tomorrow's daybreak. Pause before awakening tomorrow morning as the first light reaches your eyes. Feel the divine potential of the new day surround you like a lovely mist, filled with soothing certainty. Speak these words now. Adore me. Allow this truth to settle into your being. Feel how the cosmos already has your good fortune in its possession. Step into the dawn light. Carry this conviction in your heart, knowing that you have already blessed your route with strong intention. Chapter 22, The Magnet of Forgiveness. In a little village set among old hills, Nora Bliss walked the same way every morning. Her steps weighted with memories of betrayal. For years, she carried the burden of her friend's forgotten pledge. A partnership has dissolved. Dreams scatter like autumn leaves. Every time she thought of Sarah, her childhood confidant turned competition, her heart tightened and her surroundings appeared to shrink. But one morning, as sunlight cut the mist, Nora noticed two birds sharing a branch. Following what seemed to be a territorial conflict, something inside of her shifted at that instant. The universe communicates its wisdom through such basic pictures, demonstrating the natural flow of life, conflict, release, and harmony. When you hang on to past hurts, you build invisible boundaries around your spirit. These barriers of bitterness and grief become prisons, containing not only your emotions but also your potential for abundance. Unforgiveness confines the heart, preventing the universe from flowing freely. Forgiveness does not mean condoning actions that cause grief. It is about releasing yourself from the energy of your pain. Each resentment operates as a dam in the river of your prosperity, causing stagnant pools in which new opportunities cannot flow. Emery Dale realized this truth at a period of deteriorating health. His body bore the tension of an unresolved quarrel with his brother, manifested in chronic diseases that no medication could treat. Every morning, he began to let go of previous hurts via peaceful prayer. I free you, and in the process, I free myself, which became his daily meditation. As the walls of wrath fell, his vigor returned. Business prospects arose. His relationships grew stronger, and he felt lighter throughout the day. The universe responded to his newfound vitality with increased vigor, as if forgiveness had reopened channels that had been inactive for a long time. Remember that forgiveness is an ongoing process rather than a one-time act. When you choose to release rather than retain, you are aligning with the natural rule of flow, which is analogous to a stream finding new paths around barriers. Your energy finds expression along the path of least resistance. Ancient wisdom practices. Find a calm moment to start the day. Close your eyes and recall someone who once brought you pain without seeking reconciliation or contact. Simply whisper, I release this weight. I prefer freedom. Feel the subtle change as stress dissipates into space. Observe how your breath deepens, as if your spirit acknowledges its own emancipation. Chapter 23, The Compass of Intuition. She stood at the departure board in a packed train station, clutching her ticket in her hand. A gentle voice inside begged her to postpone her journey. Despite clear skies and excellent timing for no apparent reason, she heeded this tiny nudge and moved her reservation to the following day. Hours later, word circulated that a massive storm had grounded all trains along her intended path. This invisible guidance system runs continuously within you, whispering directions toward wealth and away from misfortune. Your intuition functions as an old compass, tuned to the magnetic fields of opportunity and protection. It speaks not with the clamor of rational thought, but with a quiet confidence that emerges from your core. The universe has provided you with an inner lighthouse, illuminating safe routes through the cloud of uncertainty. When you follow its subtle cues, you get access to insight that goes well beyond logical deduction. This awareness goes beyond the constraints of your physical senses, linking you to the immense intelligence that controls cosmic chronology. Wade Short realized this insight when considering a critical business choice. While market analysts warned him to continue with caution, he felt compelled to do so. Following this, mentorship led him to close the most major deal of his career at the optimal time for the market. His experience exemplifies a timeless idea. Your first impression is frequently the most accurate signal of truth. Before doubt may throw a shadow, before dread may raise its voice, intuition conveys its message with piercing clarity. This initial understanding is unencumbered by the weight of analysis or the influence of outside ideas. The language of intuition communicates through emotions of alignment, which settle in your body like a pleasant warmth. It appears as tranquility in the midst of uncertainty, as clarity amid chaos. Unlike the loud announcement of ego or the nervous chatter of fear, intuitive advice comes with quiet authority, requiring no argument or discussion to refine this inner tool of fortune. When it comes to making decisions, silence might be your greatest ally. When the mind is racing with possibilities, take a deep breath and focus on yourself. Allow the surface thoughts to settle, like leaves after a breeze, revealing the quiet rivers of knowledge beneath. An ancient practice. Close your eyes before making your next decision. Listen for the whisper that is peaceful rather than loud. Chapter 24 discusses the frequency of service. In a crowded marketplace, sellers yelled out their products, and hurried footfall rang against ancient stone. Beulah North waited at her modest stall, watching others succeed, while her own items went untouched. Each evening, she calculated her modest wages until enlightenment came to her through an old sage's words. The trick is not in what you seek, but in what you contribute. That night, Beulah changed her strategy. Instead of focusing on sales, she began assisting elderly clients with their purchases, providing cover from sudden rain to strangers, and sharing water with tired tourists. Within days, her benevolence generated a magnetic field of goodwill. People remained at her stall not only to buy, but also to experience the warmth of genuine care. The universe follows an eternal law of circulation. When you shift your focus from acquisition to donation, you connect with a natural flow of abundance. This connection creates pathways through which prosperity naturally flows. Your inquiries shape your world. Is there anything I can do to help? Instead, what can I get? Changes your energetic signature from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Consider Henri Voss, who realizes truth in his own unique way every morning, while others rush to get contracts. Henri spent his initial hours volunteering for community projects without expecting anything in return. He openly taught young apprentices, volunteered his knowledge at community gatherings, and provided advice to struggling entrepreneurs. Soon, opportunities began to seek him out. Contracts appeared without being pursued. Referrals flowed freely, and his reputation increased thanks to the invisible network of gratitude he had created. His story uncovers a fundamental reality. Usefulness is the magnet that draws wealth. When you serve with delight, you cause ripples in a universal fabric, which return as waves of abundance. This is not a coincidence. It is cosmic law in operation. Each act of service places a seed in the fertile soil of possibilities. Giving connects you to the unlimited source. It shows trust in abundance rather than anxiety of lack. This faith becomes a bridge that allows more blessings to reach you. Today's ancient practice is to commit one act of kindness without expecting anything in return. Whether you're holding a door, sharing knowledge, or encouraging someone, contribute just for the joy of it. Observe how the universe responds with subtle signs and synchronicities. Your gift may appear insignificant, but its ripples reach beaches. You can't see where the unseen eyes smile. In recognition of your compliance with universal law. Part 3. The Reign of Luck. Chapter 25. The Radiance of Faith. Mabel was hid in her little apartment during the hard winter, surrounded by unpaid bills and rejection letters. She had spent 3 years developing her healing practice, devoting her heart to assisting others. However, the reward looked as remote as stars. Every morning, she lit a candle and whispered affirmations. Even when doubt crept like frost over her hopes, ancient wisdom reminds us that the darkest hour comes just before dawn. When material evidence says that we should give up, Spiritual law encourages us to be more certain of our beliefs. The universe functions on perfect time, not our limited conception of when events should occur. Mabel maintained her daily practice of appreciation and service. She observed small changes. A client might mention her name to a friend. A stranger might inquire about her work. These whispers of change may have appeared inconsequential to others, but Mabel understood them as the first drops of rain before abundance and flood. The law of attraction responds to harmony rather than desperation. When we retain our frequency of faith despite external appearances, we lay a solid basis for manifestation. This unflinching trust becomes a fundamental bridge that connects our desires to tangible reality. Clyde Brent understood this principle deeply. Each evening, he would sit in his garden and express gratitude for the success he knew was already his. Others saw a struggling artist studio. He saw a booming gallery. He thanked the cosmos for clients he had yet to meet and celebrated sales that had yet to occur. Within months, his paintings began selling at sums that beyond his wildest expectations. However, the genuine miracle was not in sales. It was in the unshakable tranquility he had developed during the waiting. His narrative teaches us that thankfulness expressed before manifestation is the ultimate form of faith. The law teaches us that persistence combined with faith generates an electromagnetic field of attraction. Each moment of sustained believing, despite opposing evidence, enhances this field, much like a radio signal becomes clearer as we tune to the exact frequency at which our manifestations sharpen into focus as we remain stable in our knowing. Those who master this law understand that miracles do not happen by happenstance. They originate from the constant vibration of full trust. Every prayer of thanks before seeing results becomes a seed planted in fruitful soil. The cosmos can't help but respond to such perfect alignment. Sacred practice. Find a peaceful area where you will not be bothered. Place your hand on your heart and feel the warmth beneath your palm as you take long breaths. Imagine love rising like sunlight through your chest, eyes closed but heart open. Whisper these lines with full conviction. I trust that the invisible is working for me. Allow this declaration to penetrate every cell of your being, knowing that the cosmos is currently orchestrating your highest good. Chapter 26. The Circle of Harmony. In an ancient town, a wise woman named Nellie Frost acted as a bridge between feuding families. Every morning, she saw disagreement poison the well of communal spirit until she found a fact that would change not just her town, but also her understanding of harmony's magnetic pull. When tensions emerged in the local council, Nellie started a process that others followed. Before each heated meeting, she would sit silently, breathing in golden light and expelling shadows of conflict. Instead of formulating counterarguments or defense positions, she simply imagined everyone sitting peacefully together. Their hearts were racing in the same rhythm. Within days, a small alteration occurred. Voices that had been raised in anger began to soften. Those who had earlier interrupted now listened patiently. The transition was gradual and almost undetectable, much like morning dew on leaves. The cosmos responds to what we continuously embrace rather than what we resist. When you connect your inner compass with serenity, the outer world will eventually reflect that alignment. It is an unchangeable law, as certain as gravity's pull or the sun's daily passage across the sky. Consider how a stream naturally finds its smoothest path. It does not fight the rocks. It flows around them and transforms them into silk. Over time, similarly, when your energy is in harmony, it creates the path of least resistance through life's challenges. This truth was powerfully expressed by Doyle Penn, a merchant whose marketplace had become a battleground for competing interests. Instead of engaging in daily strife, Doyle began to envision his shop as a place of mutual understanding. Every morning before opening his doors, he imagined golden light filling every corner and gracefully illuminating every interaction. Tension slowly dissipated, as if moved by an invisible hand. Customers who had previously argued over prices began suggesting reasonable compromises. Competitors who had undercut each other began to form beneficial alliances. The marketplace evolved from a competitive environment to one of cooperation, all because one person chose to remain stable in the vibration of peace. These stories highlight a fundamental truth. External harmony is achieved not through force, but through faithful alignment with its essence. When you choose to resonate with peace, you create a living invitation for its manifestation in your world. The power is not in controlling others, but in mastering your own energetic broadcast, which acts like a tuning fork to bring nearby instruments into harmony. Your dedication to peaceful vibration sends ripples of alignment into every relationship and situation you encounter. Sacred practice involves finding a quiet moment as the sun rises or sets. Settle into stillness and imagine every relationship in your life. Family, friends, colleagues, even difficult connections. With each breath, they are surrounded by soft golden light. Send waves of calm energy to these connections, watching the light intensify and warm. Feel relief spread like cool water over any rough edges or tender spots. Let this vision be your morning medicine, a daily rebalancing of your relationship with the world. Trust that as you continue with this practice, external circumstances will inevitably coincide with your inner peace. Chapter 27, The Light of Simplicity. In the center of a crowded market, a trader named Opal Wade kept a complex system of good luck charms. Every morning, she performed elaborate rites and consulted many omens before opening her shop. Her days were filled with intricate rituals, exact times for counting money, precise item placements, and meticulous sequences of behaviors that she felt would bring her prosperity. Despite her scrupulous devotion, riches remained elusive. Her energy was distributed among numerous professions until tiredness diminished her innate shine. One day, as she was about to begin her morning routine, an elderly sage paused at her door. "Why are you chasing something that already exists within?" he asked simply before continuing on his way. The query cut through years of complex patterns. Opal realized she had been burying the voice of intuition beneath waves of superfluous action. She drew a big breath after clearing her charm counter. For the first time in years, she just opened her shop with a thankful heart and a clean head. Customers noticed the shop's improved enthusiasm after a few days. Her firm thrived not through elaborate ceremony, but rather through the simple indication of her presence. This is a reality that universal law whispers. Simplicity has the strongest vibration. When you remove the surplus, your natural frequency rises unhindered, like clear water reflecting the flawless sky. An uncluttered spirit reflects divine intention. Ray Dorr realized a similar truth when faced with a critical business decision. His desk was overflowing with reports, charts, and opposing suggestions. Analysis froze action until he removed everything save one blank page from that empty area. Wisdom emerged effortlessly. The true road revealed itself, not via additional information, but through the silence that remained after complication was removed. Your energy moves more powerfully when it pours through open channels. Each superfluous activity, extra procedure, and added layer functions as a filter, reducing your light. The cosmos responds most strongly to pure intention, unadorned by intricate ritual. This reality extends beyond physical simplicity to the realms of intellect and emotion. When you let go of the impulse to manage every detail and believe in the elegant efficiency of universal rules, you align with the natural flow of manifestation. Your desires go faster across open spaces than through packed paths. The ancients were aware of this insight. The most effective prayers were frequently composed of single words. The most impactful practices required no more than presence and trust. Simplicity contains power. Clarity contains magnetic force, an ancient practice. Close your eyes and settle into a calm spot. Take 3 slow breaths. Then whisper, I simplify to magnify. Allow your next action to originate from this state of exquisite clarity, trusting that ease equals sacred efficiency. Chapter 28. The Flow of Trust. In the calm light of a typical morning, Lottie Pierce stood in front of her mirror, her hands quivering with familiar nervousness. For years, she had clutched every facet of her existence with iron resolve. Believing in control meant being safe. Every dawn offered a new battle against uncertainty. Her mind was racing to foresee and avoid any potential mistake. But transformation began when her elderly grandmother shared wisdom passed down through generations. The river does not resist its flow, so it always makes its way to the sea. These words reawakened something deep within Lottie's spirit. The truth emerges with gentle persistence. Control is merely an illusion, whereas trust is the master key that unlocks the flow of life. When you let go of your preconceived notions about how events should play out, the cosmos reveals paths well beyond your restricted view. Life, like water, knows how to reach its full potential. Howard Knox discovered this lesson on an unexpected voyage as a merchant who, although meticulously planning each transaction, encountered recurring delays and impediments. His breakthrough occurred when he abandoned his rigorous schedule and began moving in accordance with life's natural rhythm. Within weeks, chances arose that far beyond his careful plans. Deals appeared effortlessly, and good timing became his regular friend. The universe has intelligence much beyond our rigorous calculations. When you believe in its movement, you align with currents of grace that guide you toward your highest good. This is not passive surrender, but active collaboration with the intelligence that guides galaxies. Trust opens channels that anxiety closes when you let go of a need to direct every moment. You free up energy that was previously focused on worry to become a magnetic force for opportunity. Your attitude toward uncertainty shifts from dread to curiosity, from resistance to reception. Every breath becomes an affirmation. Life helps you on your trip. Every moment has a potential for an unexpected blessing. The identical circumstances you once resisted may become doors to prosperity you could never have imagined. An ancient practice. As you sleep tonight, whisper that everything is going great and sink into reassurance. Allow these words to be the link between control and trust, resistance and flow. Feel how the universe's immense intellect protects your dreams, organizing everything for your ultimate good. Chapter 29 explores the art of self-harmonization. Shirley Boone lived in a tiny village surrounded by rolling hills for years, assessing her worth through the eyes of others. Each morning, she would look into her mirror, looking for imperfections rather than beauty, waiting for the world to give her permission to shine. One fall evening, as golden light filtered through her window, she noticed a wild rose flowering alone in her garden. Its petals unfurled with natural confidence, needing no audience to justify their beauty. At that instant, wisdom blossomed within her heart. Nature has never questioned its right to flourish. The universe communicates by such subtle discoveries. When you seek approval from the outside world, you lose your magnetic power like seeds in the wind. Every time you seek validation outside of yourself, you weaken the very force that draws good fortune. The law of attraction is based on what you know about yourself rather than what others think of you. Shirley initiated the spiritual practice of self-blessing rather than waiting for praise. She became her own eyewitness. Each option results in an achievement. She would halt with each stride forward, acknowledging her own light. An unusual metamorphosis occurred. Opportunities that had previously appeared distant began to materialize on her doorstep. Ellis Finn took a similar trek through the shadows of self-doubt. For years, his success felt like a borrowed outfit. He would eventually have to return. He apologized for his accomplishments, downplayed his abilities, and pondered when someone would realize he did not deserve his good fortune. Then one day, while seeing his small daughter proudly show him a crayon drawing, he noticed how she beams with natural pride. She didn't wonder if her art was worthy. She was simply happy with her creation. She taught him the fundamental fact that self-acceptance is not arrogance, but rather adherence to cosmic law. Ellis ceased downplaying his achievements. He began to take pride in his successes, neither boasting nor apologizing, as he acknowledged his own light. The universe replied with greater abundance. His business thrived. Relationships grew stronger and synchronicities increased, all because he finally gave himself permission to thrive. This principle demonstrates a fundamental fact. The universe cannot offer you more than you think you deserve. Self-approval is not vanity. It serves as a foundation for all forms of attraction. When you truly embrace your own worth, you become a natural magnet for prosperity. An ancient practice. Find a peaceful moment and take a comfortable seat. Place your hand over your heart and take deep breaths. Repeat silently between each breath, "I like who I'm becoming." Allow these words to flood you like warm sunlight until you feel their truth echoing through every cell. Continue until a pleasant smile forms on your face. Chapter 30. The Arrival of the Luckiest. You, in a little garden flooded with morning sunlight. Bernice Cole sat, her eyes closed. A soft smile spread across her face. For months, she had grappled with the idea of luck, seeing it as something external, something to chase or catch. However, everything changed that morning when she saw a butterfly land effortlessly on a nearby blossom. Understanding flooded over her like warm sun. The truth, she discovered, was simple yet transformational. Luck was not a force to be pursued, but rather a presence that represented each lesson she had learned. Each shift in perspective had brought her to this point of crystal clarity. Her thankfulness had become as normal as breathing. Her faith was as strong as a heartbeat, and her love for life radiated from within like a gentle sun. The universal rule presents itself most clearly when we stop attempting to alter it. It runs through those who have learned to follow its rhythm. This alignment is not attained through force, but rather through the subtle skill of allowing, along with steadfast trust. Otis Hale had the same insight while walking around his neighborhood one autumn evening. He realized he didn't need to repeat happy ideas or remind himself to be appreciative. These attributes had become his natural state of being. "The world sparkles," he said. "I expect it to dazzle, not because I make it do so. And that expectation has become who I am." His experience echoes the deepest reality of fortune. It isn't something we do, but something we become. When appreciation, belief, love, and awareness unite into one single field of consciousness, we no longer need to practice them separately. They become our default way of being. This is the climax of all spiritual work, the moment when effort dissolves into effortless existence. Like a master musician who no longer thinks about individual notes, but just allows the song to flow through them. Those who learn the art of lucky life become instruments through which universal riches organically expresses itself. The practice stand in front of a mirror or in a calm location. Place your hand over your heart and whisper these words. "Thank you for discovering me." Feel these words echo through your entire being. Allow yourself to recognize that destiny has always been moving through you, while you remain in this state of recognition for several minutes, letting the truth of your intrinsic connection to universal fortune seep firmly into your consciousness. Chapter 31, The Spark of Renewal. In the peaceful hours before morning, Ethel Crane sat in her garden, surrounded by achievements that had made her heart soar. The prizes on her shelves had lost their glitter, and her fulfilled ambition seemed strangely hollow. Yet in this moment of apparent emptiness, she stumbled upon a truth as old as time itself. Every ending reveals a secret of new beginnings. When one door closes, infinite others open not as consolation prizes, but as a natural rhythm of a growing world. The law of perpetual renewal informs us that completion is only a masquerade worn by fresh potential. Within you sits an everlasting spring of creation, waiting to bubble out with new dreams, new visions, and fresh expressions of your boundless essence. When the excitement of achievement fades, it marks not an end, but an invitation to explore uncharted territories of possibility. Emery Glenn learned this reality after a period of stagnation in his own life. Having reached the top of his career, he felt the usual spark of enthusiasm growing dull, rather than lingering in the shadows of former successes. He began each morning with a simple yet powerful query: what fresh delight may I discover today? This little alteration revolutionized his relationship with fortune. Instead of attempting to imitate prior accomplishments, he opened himself to fresh expressions of richness. His mornings became adventures of opportunity and luck. Ever responsive to real inquiry, danced back into his life with newfound zest. The lecture illustrates that enthusiasm isn't a scarce resource to be carefully rationed, but a renewable energy that increases via interaction. When you approach each situation with new eyes, the universe matches your openness with unexpected opportunities. This law acts through the idea of energetic renewal. Just as nature never tires of generating new forms, your ability for drawing fortune refreshes itself the moment you welcome fresh possibilities. The trick rests not in clinging on to prior triumphs, but in preserving the vivid curiosity that drew them in the first place. Your journey of manifestation is not a straight line, but a spiral, each turn taking you to familiar territory at a higher degree of knowledge. When exhilaration wanes, it marks not the end of your lucky streak, but the universe's offer to evolve your relationship with abundance. The practice: find a peaceful moment at the start of your day. Take 3 deep breaths, letting each exhale to eliminate attachment to yesterday's triumphs or disappointments. Place your palm over your heart and whisper with soft conviction, "I am new energy." Once more, feel these words resonate through your being, awakening new currents of possibilities inside you. Chapter 32: The Melody of Appreciation. A soft wind shook the chimes outside Fanny Ross's window as she sat at her kitchen table, scribbling sincere notes to those who had touched her life. What began as a simple gesture, showing real appreciation for others, developed into an unexpected spark for delight. With each earnest phrase of thankfulness she conveyed, her own world appeared to glitter with renewed brilliance. The universe operates by holy resonance. When you communicate appreciation for others, you produce waves of positive energy that rebound back to you, multiplied. This ancient knowledge reminds us that uttered thankfulness carries a particular vibratory signature, one that harmonizes with the frequency of prosperity itself. Luther Kent uncovered this truth through an unexpected experiment at his employment. Feeling motivated one morning, he began openly highlighting the distinctive attributes he appreciated in his colleagues. A pleasant comment about Sarah's creativity here, recognition of Michael's dedication, there what started as spontaneous appreciation quickly became his everyday routine. Within weeks, the office climate shifted. Projects that earlier faced hurdles now ran effortlessly. Unexpected opportunities occurred through strengthened relationships. Luther found himself at the center of collaborative accomplishments that seemed to spread effortlessly. His modest practice of appreciation had arranged a symphony of shared good fortune. The law of attraction responds powerfully to appreciation because it represents the ultimate form of gratitude. Gratitude, spoken and shared. When you admire others loudly, you establish a bridge between individual consciousness and collective abundance. This connection enhances the magnetic power of both the sender and receiver. Through appreciation, you acknowledge the divine flame in others, and in doing so, illuminate your own. Every heartfelt compliment, every moment of appreciation becomes a thread in the tapestry of mutual success. The cosmos delights in this interchange, reacting with increasing synchronicity and aligned opportunities for everybody concerned. The ancient habit before sleep tonight. Find a calm moment and allow a gentle hum to rise from your heart. As the beautiful melody pours, bring to recollect each person who brought a smile to your face today. Let your humming bring your blessing to them, knowing that this musical appreciation weaves threads of fortune between your souls. This practice, passed down through centuries of wisdom keepers, develops an energetic harmony that attracts, enhanced to wealth for all. Chapter 33, The Gift of Perspective. In the quiet corners of a bustling marketplace, Josie Hart stood before her modest shop, tallying the day's paltry earnings. 3 customers had asked refunds that week, and a prospective relationship had disintegrated before commencing. Her shoulders carried the weight of what seemed like repeated setbacks. Yet one morning, while collecting old receipts, she uncovered something remarkable. Each apparent setback had diverted her path into bigger chances. The partner who withdrew prompted her to meet a more aligned collaborator. The refunded items sparked ideas for better products that now formed the backbone of her business. The universe talks via patterns, weaving insight into the tapestry of experience. When you move back far enough, the picture morphs from scattered dust to a magnificent design. What appears like misfortune in the moment often exposes itself as fortune's meticulous setup. Clinton Mills grasped this profound reality when he began documenting his experience in what he called his thankfulness timeline. Each evening, he would trace the relationship between past disappointments and present rewards. A missing train had led to a chance encounter with his future business partner. A rejected work guided him to uncover his true voice. The timeline proved that luck wasn't random, but rather an exquisite ballet of divine timing. The art perspective tells us that fortune favors those who trust its larger design, like a mosaic examined too closely. Life's obstacles may appear scattered and harsh, yet with distance, the parts arrange themselves into something lovely. Each setback bears within it the seed of an equal or greater advancement. Your current obstacles are not barriers, but bridges. They steer you toward alignment with your best good. Even when the route seems obscure or the cosmos operates via perfect order, transforming apparent chaos into harmony. For those who keep confidence in its design, when Clinton's timeline stretched across years, he observed how each failure had saved him from a lesser path while preparing him for something higher. This realization altered his relationship with uncertainty. He no longer worried setbacks, but welcomed them as indicators of future ascent. The insight lies in knowing that fortune works through contrast. Just as an artist requires both light and darkness to create depth, your journey requires both challenge and ease to construct its masterpiece. An ancient practice. Whenever delay or trouble emerges, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I trust the divine design unfolding via this moment." Feel your awareness. Expand beyond the immediate issue to embrace the bigger pattern being woven. Let your soul know that this too is part of your road to better fortune. Chapter 34, The Whisper Balance. In a little mountain village, Myrtle Dean paced her garden at midnight, reading her to-do list by moonlight. Her hands trembled from too much coffee as she planned the next day's appointments, calls, and duties. Though her determination had previously taken her from poverty to affluence, today it seemed to resist the same success she wanted. Her flowers faded from neglect, just like her spirit. The cosmos speaks its truths through our tiredness. When we repeatedly strive against life's natural rhythm, we develop resistance to the very prosperity we seek. Your energy attracts riches in the same way that a river flows most forcefully when it alternates between rapids and quiet pools. Through a mystical dance of movement and relaxation, Myrtle's breakthrough occurred when she fainted one afternoon, her body imposing stillness. Her mind hesitated to make a choice. During that forced halt, she saw how nature itself alternates between expansion and constriction. The trees shed their leaves in autumn, gaining strength for the spring's burst of growth. The tide receded to surge ahead with increased force. This understanding found a voice in Lester Vale, who revolutionized his business approach by following the natural cycles of energy. Whereas he used to book meetings back-to-back, he now creates moments of silence between appointments. These quiet moments were sources of inspiration. He realized that his most fortunate opportunities came not from constant movement, but from peaceful spaces when insight could emerge. The law of attraction responds not to the strength of your effort, but to the clarity of your energy. When you strike a balance between ambition and acceptance, effort and ease, your frequency remains clean and powerful, like a finely tuned instrument. You feel a stronger connection to the abundance that awaits you. Consider how the heart beats perfectly in time. Contraction, release. Contraction, release. Your relationship with fortune takes the same throbbing balance. Pushing too hard will deplete your magnetic field. Resting for too long causes you to lose momentum. The sweet spot is to honor both dynamics. The ancient practice of balance. Find a peaceful area where you may sit without being bothered. Close your eyes and lay one hand over your heart. Feel the steady rhythm, a precise balance of exertion, and rest over numerous breaths. Align your awareness with a natural wisdom. Then whisper gently, I respect the rhythm of life within myself. I know when to move forward and when to stop in this equilibrium. Everything good comes to me effortlessly. Let this practice serve as a reminder that fortune flows most freely when you dance with life's inherent rhythm, neither forcing nor resisting, but moving in accordance with the universal pulse of creation. Chapter 35. The Promise of Continuation Along a Coastal Walk. Violet Price strolled with satisfaction, believing that she had perfected the art of positive thinking. For months, she had maintained an unwaveringly cheerful attitude. Every thought is carefully monitored. However, something about her practice felt mechanical, as if she had reduced a vast ocean to a simple formula. Violet interrupted her daily affirmations one evening as the sun painted the sky in unimaginable shades of amber and rose. The sun set in front of her, displaying the same ritual it had performed countless times. However, each moment offered new nuances of color and light. In that moment, she realized that mastery was a never-ending journey of discovery. The law of attraction is not a fixed set of rules, but rather an ever-expanding revelation. Each level of understanding, like chambers in an infinite palace, leads to deeper wisdom. When you accept the eternal nature of growth, your ability to attract prosperity grows proportionally. Horace Gale demonstrated this fact in his daily practice. Though others lauded his manifestation powers, he approached each morning as a beginner, eager for new insights. He noticed that keeping this immaculate receptivity drew more sophisticated expressions of wealth, whilst others perceived repetition in their practices. He discovered new nuances in each moment of gratitude. Each visualization represents an affirmed truth. His basic trick was to never assume completion. Rather, claiming to have learnt, he would remark, I am learning. This tiny adjustment maintained his energy moving and expanding, rather than static and restricted. The universe replied to his limitless openness with constant waves of synchronicity and blessing. This insight demonstrates that true mastery is found not in achieving the pinnacle of perfection, but in retaining an eternal willingness to expand, as the ocean never tires of making new waves. Your relationship with fortune grows through numerous periods of renewal. Every sunrise is an invitation to explore another level of possibilities. The instant you assume you have reached the summit of understanding, you unintentionally close the door to greater wonders. Instead, think of each day as hallowed terrain, full of untapped insights. Let every breath be full of promise, and every instant be pregnant with new understanding. Renewal practices date back to antiquity. Find a calm moment as the day fades into dusk. Stand under the wide sky, whether starry or cloudy. Raise your hands slightly, palms facing up, in a gesture of continuous receipt. Take 3 calm breaths, letting go of the concept that you have arrived at your final understanding. Then, with the innocence of a child, discovering the world anew, whisper into heavens, "Thank you for infinite new starts." Feel eternity. Smile back into your heart. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I've developed a free ebook edition for you. You can get it from the link in the pinned remark. Conclusion: through these teachings, you have realized that luck is not a passing visitor, but rather your natural condition of being, like a river tracing its ancient route to the sea. You have rediscovered the path back to unity with universal grace. The intentional practice of gratitude, intention, and trust have progressed from a discipline to a delight. These are no longer exercises, but the very breath of your expanding consciousness, where you used to seek signs and wonders, but now realize you're the sign and wonder. Your presence carries the frequency of fortune, inviting positive events. As naturally as a flower attracts sunshine, the air around you vibrates with possibility, responding to what you know rather than what you wish. This is not the end of your adventure, but rather a deeper dive into mastery. Each morning presents new opportunity to demonstrate your alignment with plenty. Every interaction presents an opportunity to amplify the signal of success. You now embody. You discover that luck flows most easily when you let go of the need to control the current. Your thoughts have transformed into prayers of thanksgiving, offered before manifestation arrives. Even as new desires emerge, your feelings reflect a sense of completion. This is the sacred alchemy that you have cultivated, the ability to be grateful for what we have while also blessing what is to come. Remember that this state of grace is your inheritance. You are not stepping into luck. You are remembering that you are luck itself, manifested in human form. The cosmos rejoices in your awakening, appreciating each moment you choose to remain in this understanding. Continue to walk in this awareness, allowing your presence be a blessing to everyone you meet. Your own existence now transmits the frequency of fortune, enabling others to rediscover their intrinsic connection to global riches. If you enjoyed this unique audiobook, I have handpicked the next book that will alter your life.